Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to our seventh tutorial session of DesignCube, and it's a second tutorial session in the series of typography. So, we had our first session of typography 2 days back. So, we learned many things. I will just briefly share what things did we. So, this was a document which I shared in the group as well. So, these were majorly the technicalities of the typography. Like there's a baseline and there are text height, renders, and that the font is measured in points, and 72 point is 1 inch, and there are some standard sets that you can follow if you are confused whether to choose which size. And then distance between individual letters is told as kerning. And you always make any poster or when you design anything, if you're in your workplace, when you're making PPTs reports, always try to keep your font left aligned, right? Just a normal way which our eye reads the text from left to right, like in the English language majorly. Let's not discuss about the others, right? So you should keep your text like even when you want to place your text in the center of the document, if you place it on the left aligned, it looks good, it doesn't look bad, right? And leading is the space between the lines of the text, and you should be careful that it is not too much, not very less. Like the eye should be able to, when the one line is finished, it should be easily be movable to the next line, that the user should not. There is a small tip that when you select the text, the black space appears like a highlighter. So if there is too much between those black space, so that means there is too much leading, and if it's overlapping, that means there's too much less leading. So you just need to make a balance out of it. Right? The way you use your text can make or break your design. So we will be looking more into this statement today. Right. So let's just get started fonts today. Right. So I'll be writing two texts. Times New Roman, right? So I'll just make its font Times New Roman only. Cool. Okay, I'll just increase its size. Right, so here we have one font, and I'll just quickly copy it by pressing Ctrl J. It's duplicated, and I'll just change its font to a different font style. Montserrat medium. Okay, it was not selected, so the font didn't get changed. Now I have just selected it. Cool. So now we have Times New Roman, or I'll just change its text as well. Let's see. Contract. These are the two fonts basically which I have chosen for this two text. One is Times New Roman, another is Montserrat. So like I obviously you guys can see a lot of difference between these two fonts, right? So these are the two major categories of the fonts, the serif and the sans serif. So what is the major difference between these? I'll just choose a brush color. Right. So as you can see, okay, let's just make it little. These extra edges that are coming out of this letter, these ones, right? These fonts which have these extra edges are known as the serifs. These extra edges are known as the serifs, and whereas if you see in one, there is nothing like this, right? There is no extension of the letter at the boundary. So these are known as the sans serif. So sans means without, and serif is these extensions, and sans serif means without serif. So that is sans serif. These fonts are known as sans serif, and these are the serifs. So let's just write sans serif font and Montserrat. I'll just write Times New Roman here, and I'll write Montserrat in this font. Right, so now you can see there's a lot of difference. Like it's more clearly visible now if you would see. Right, so these are known as the sans without serif, and the serif fonts are those which have these extensions at the end. So this is a serif font written in sans serif format, and this is a sans serif font name written in a serif format, right? So these are the two majorly broad categories in which you can classify the font styles, the serif and the sans serifs. So if you would pay a little bit more attention, you would see that sans serif are a kind of like modern, they give a modern look to your text, whereas the serifs give you a little bit of traditional look. So if you are just making a, something kind of a book, like if you are someone who is publishing a novel or like some publishing an article, it is good if you use the serif font, because that is what the majorly print media uses, right? So I'll just make a new text box, and here is our lorem ipsum text. So I'll just reduce its size, left aligned as we have read. So you see, this looks like something kind of an article text or article body, whereas if had it been for the non serif or the sans serif font, it looks more like it is made for the web, or we are viewing it on the website rather than something which is written or printed material. So that is the basic difference, that the sans serif gives you a more bit of modern look, whereas the serifs gives you a little bit of traditional look. So these were the two kind of properties or the classifications in which you can differentiate the text, right? So next I would be giving you a very good and interesting example about the connotations of text which we were discussing on the last session, right? So here is written a fat word, fat, fat, right, in Montserrat font, right? And there is another fat written in Cooper standard font. So as you can see, the top fat and the bottom fat. Obviously, the bottom one makes a little bit more sense rather than the top one, right? So it is very important that you choose your font style according to what you are writing in your text, right? So it should make sense. So now we will just do one simple thing, and I'll write S, okay, capital S in this one and a capital S in this one. So you see, just by writing a simple letter, the whole connotation is changed. Now the top one looks more relevant, whereas the bottom one looks irrelevant, because now it is trying to depict fast, whereas the bottom one is a little bit of more heavy font. And even if I'll just right now it is bold, okay. So this is the normal version of this Cooper standard font. So you see the bottom one doesn't make any sense, that it is saying fast but it's heavy and too much bold, no sense. But in the previous version, no sense. Well, that is what type can do to your poster or your design, meaning that whatever you are trying to convey, maybe the design or the font actually is saying something else. The user is not able to understand what you, but the message, that is very much important, that you choose your font very much carefully. And when we come on choosing the fonts, like when when you are very much new to something like creating posters and all this stuff, like we want to use different fonts in our poster, different stylish fonts in our poster, but that is a very bad practice to use. I would say, like, just if you can do, like you should only work with one single font. Like when you're starting, right, when you gain still a little bit more experience, you can try experimenting with two, and at the maximum you should go with three, not beyond that. Like not beyond that, ever. One is very much good. So I'll give an example. What can we do with one font, right? So let's just suppose, so I'll just change it to Montserrat. So, so let's just make it extra bold because this is our heading, right? Tutorial series. So this is our heading in Montserrat bold. Now I'll just copy it and I'll choose semi bold. And I'll just reduce its size. I'll make the leading to auto so that it looks good, and we'll just place it here in the middle, right? So you see, I've just only used one single font with different options. This is the extra bold one and this is the semi bold one, and it doesn't look bad. Look bad, right? I have to write more semi bold family only. So if I'll write session 1, right, here goes the for the session. So I have just written this thing and I'll just make it left aligned. I'll just increase its size a little bit and I'll place it on the, okay, oops. So I'll just place it here, and what I'll do is I'll make this italics, semi bold italic, right? Or maybe just, let's not choose semi bold, let's just choose medium italics so that there is more focus on the session 1 thing. And now I'll just write session 2. Okay, now we will just make it session 3. And also, like, I am duplicating this font or this element. Like, you can duplicate any element just by pressing the Alt key and dragging that element. So it will just duplicate it, right? Just a minute, I need to like switch on my charging. Yes. So here we are almost like completing our poster. So we will just write join today. Let's just keep it bold only. Register today, right? And I'll just make it bold. Okay. reduce its size. Take, but I'll just make a rectangle. I'll make it to the bottom layer. Let just be close so that we can see, and I'll just make it fill white because okay, so my bad. I selected the foreground color, right? So now it's just white, and I'll just add a very little bit tinge of shadow to this. Black color is fine, and we'll just do this, and we'll curve its edges, and we'll just increase a little bit of padding, and we'll make it center. And as you can see, this is a simple poster, right? And I have one single font, so it's over. So that is like my main basic point to be conveyed, is that you can make a one single poster with one single font. Now that depends like which font you are choosing. So let us just make it all Times New Roman and see what happens, right? So if let me just check if I do Times New Roman, does it change its font, or I need to select it? So you see, I'll just, what I'm doing is I'm changing font from sans serif to serif. Now you see it looks a little bit of a traditional kind of thing, or like it is not, it isn't prevent something a modern look. So that is what sans serif and serif can do to your design. So if you are making something for like web, please use almost next to no serifs. Always try to use sans serif for your web fonts. If you're designing some website, or you're making your online portfolio kind of stuff, like portfolio website, so always use sans serif. So let's just move ahead to the more connotations of text. I'll just hide all this, right? So here is one simple photo, right? As you can see in this one, we have architecture written it. So what we have here is we have architecture written in different font styles, right? So I'll just zoom into this one. So first one, let's move to the first one, right? This one looks a little bit more, we can see that it is a serif font because it has some extensions on the edges, right? So it looks more something kind of a traditional architecture, and the bottom one looks a little bit heavy kind of it. So if you have some knowledge about the time period of the fonts, you would know that this one is a little bit very much traditional, because in that times these heavy fonts weren't used very much. And if we see this one, you would think like, these are some kind of modern architectures who do something rather than out of the book, right? They made something new. And like this arc here, right here, this increasing size, this doesn't look very much good with this architecture word, because like this depicts some kind of a instability in the architecture, right? Just like this one. So these both, I would say, these doesn't look good with this architecture word. And even if this, you find this one, this is falling. So what this makes a mind believe that, I don't know, like why would this thing will be falling. So it doesn't leave a good impression in your user's mind. Whereas this one looks a little bit more solid and more concrete. So this one is good. And now if I'll just move to one another, okay, where is it? I'll just get it from my desktop. Cool. right? So we have this one. These are the same fonts that were used in the architecture one, but these are different words. So let's just have this one here. So hand pops look good, like this is some kind of a maybe a fashion brand that is trying to make their brand name out there. Cupcakes also look good, right? Because like these are some kind of fluffy stuff, and so power tools also look good. Like these kind of lines in this typography, it depicts like sense of strongness. But if we see these cupcakes, right? These ones right here, this doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Like why would, like this is no significance. Like why is this size increasing and then decreasing? But this cupcake, this makes sense, right? So these were some little basic examples that what can typography do to your poster or your design. So you need to be very careful while choosing your fonts for your design. So I'll be showing you a little bit more examples. So let's just see this one. So as you can see, what we have done here is like we had very little bit amount of text, right? So we had to make it more appealing as well. So what we did was, you see this one here. So this was like 1 day left for this assistant team. So what we did was like we just increased the size of one and filled it with the photographs of the previous events using the clipping mask, which we had seen in one of our past tutorials, right? And just these two CTAs or the call to actions, and that was pretty much it. So there are no heavy graphics used in this poster. If you would see, there are just simple text and simple basic rectangles and one long standing one ONE1. And let's just move to the other one. So this was the event which we had in our March, 2nd of March, before this lockdown stuff. So as you can see in this one, what I have done is like we had to make a thank you poster for the audience, right? So what I did instead was I simply wrote this content and then duplicated it and then make it filled, like, or maybe filled zero or filled white, and just give it a stroke of the same color that was used in this font and decrease its opacity, and further on the next level decrease the opacity furthermore. So as you can see, this whole poster is has just only the logos and the text, nothing much, but it looks good. It looks good, appealing to the eyes, right? And it is properly conveying its message as well. And I have used the sans serif font, not the serif font. So for this event, like we had this orangish color theme, and in all the posters we use the sans serif font only. So color scheme is also very important to give an a kind of constant look or a consistent look to your event. So that was pretty much it that I had for today. And tomorrow we will be seeing more. Basically, tomorrow our focus will be on the external tools and resources apart from Photoshop. Like what else websites or tools do we have that can help in our designing and can help make our work a little bit much faster. So what I'll do, I'll just give you a little bit sneak peek into that. So as I've already told about the COOLORS colors.co website, that is the best one available out there for choosing a color scheme for your design. You can specify any number of colors you want. Maybe you want two, you want three, you want four, you want five colors for your brand or for your design. So like I would say 2 to 3 or maximum 4 colors are good to go if you are choosing a color theme. Like you can choose one major color and then 2 or 3 accent colors to go with it. So if you are really concerned about colors, I would say use a white background because it enhances any color. That is obvious, right? What I will do is this. I'll just add it to your entire stream. Yeah, this website remove.bg. Right. So what it does is you can simply upload your picture on this website and it will use its artificial intelligence to crop out the subject from the image. So as you can see, here are some examples. So if you are selling some products on the Amazon or the Flipkart and you want some plain backgrounds for your products, you can easily use this website, or you are making some of your projects. So it is very good. Like in some kind of cases, obviously it won't work that very much good if you have like two or three subjects or you want to cut out some specific part of your image. Like that time you will have to resort to Photoshop only. But like general purpose or general use, if you are just making something for your family or stuff, so you can simply use them. Or if you have some jpg and you want to convert it into png and the subject is clearly visible, so you can easily use this website. I'll just see if I have some image that we can perhaps try. I don't have any such image, or I'll just pick it one from the internet, right? So let's just choose a person. Oh, oh, okay. So I have got this photo. I'll download it on my desktop and I'll upload it here. Right. So this was the original photo, and now it has made the PNG out of this photo. And as you can see, it's like it has done a really good job because the subject was very much clear, and you can simply download it from here, preview image or the full image, and then you can even edit it as well if you want some pre-provided backgrounds from here. You can choose this beach or this autumn trees, or you can choose a road out there, or you can have this green grass. So you can choose a, there is so much variety here. So this is very interesting tool if you would be needing it at the times when you want to quickly convert something to PNG. If you have some logo which is on a different background and you want to have its PNG, so it is a very good tool. So we will be seeing more of such tools and resources tomorrow. So Prashant is asking, sir, I have to search between a lot of fonts available on Google Fonts. Is it any way that we can get styling font at one place and simple fonts at one place to choose between easily? Prashant, it is, it depends on what kind of project you are doing right now. Because if you are just making some design, and I would say like stylish fonts are good, no doubt. But personally, I prefer to use more simple kinds of font like Montserrat, like I just showed you, right? So I personally prefer to work with Montserrat. And as for the fonts, I'll be sharing more resources tomorrow where you can have the font pairing as well. Like if you are interested in with working two fonts in one single design, so I'll just share those resources as well, so that if you want to choose or pair two different fonts, you can do that as well. and just a small online tool, and they are suggesting something, you might go with it. But if you are choosing your own, so just try to be with the serifs only or with the sans serifs only, like because it's very difficult to pair your phones on your own. Like personally it would look good to you, but you don't know, like maybe the user doesn't like it, or maybe it doesn't appeal to your client, right? Because client, client can say anything. And by client, I don't mean that, you are working for your company or internship, so the client doesn't mean that. But anyone who is anyone who is seeing your poster, or maybe you are making it for your student branch, and you are showing it to your president or your secretary, so he is also your client, right? Maybe you are making something for your teacher, so each person whom you made your poster for is your client, right? And client can say anything, right? Even if you choose a bad font, client can say that yes, I like it. Or if you choose a good font, client can say I don't like it. So it's very iterative field, you have to just, like, you just made a poster, the client don't like it, you will make another one, you will make some more changes. So it's repetitive. So graphic designers need to have a lot of patience with them as well. We will be covering the tools resources tomorrow, don't worry about that. We will be seeing different resources. Any more questions do we have? Just okay. So Prashant, what happens is that when you search for a PNG on a Google or like any other search engine, many people or many websites have put JPG images and named them as something like whatever the name is .png. So if it is a PNG, like Photoshop tries to parse it as like it doesn't have any background and is there is only subject. But when it realizes that it has a background as well, so sometimes it has problem in opening it inside Photoshop. That is why. So just make sure before downloading an image that it is a PNG. Now, so I'll just show you an example if I can. Like, if you can write in the comment section, like, what did you try to search? So we will search that only and we will see what is available on the internet. So let's just say I want a car PNG images, and I'll just share my screen as well. Car PNG share. Okay. So here we have, right? So as you can see, let's just see this, right? So generally what happens is when you have a PNG in Photoshop, you see that there are, at the background, there are some these checkerboard kind of patterns. So at first look, like this looks that as if it's a PNG, right? This is the subject and this is the background, or the like something that there is nothing in the background. But if this is visible, then that means this is not a PNG, because when it's a PNG, it doesn't appear like this, it only appears in Photoshop. So if I don't have anything in Photoshop, like right now I have this white layer, that is why you can see white. But if I switch it off, you can see this. That means this is the document or the artboard which the Photoshop is providing us. So that artboard is itself of this nature, right? But why would something appear on the internet as such? So that means this is not a PNG. Even if you open it in a new tab, so even if you open it a new tab, you can see you have this thing here. So that means this is not a real PNG. So I'll just see what if we have. So you can see, okay, so this is a real PNG, right? Because there is no background there to be seen. right? Now this again is not a PNG because we have this white stuff here. So you can easily open the image in new tab and you can see whether it is a PNG or not. So I don't know like why it is showing these checkerboards now also, because earlier it doesn't used to show. So just to be on the safer side, to confirm that whether it's a PNG or not, you can simply open it in a new tab and you can see if it is a PNG or not. If it has the checkerboard pattern in the new tab as well, that means that it's not a PNG. And if it doesn't have any background in the new tab, then it's a PNG. And I'll just copy the image and I'll paste it here. So you can see it is being pasted. And now you would wonder why there is a white background, sorry, why there is a black background. Yes, the background is there because I have copied the image. Whenever you copy the PNG from the internet, because it is not able to copy the PNG, it provides a black background to the PNG. So if you want to really use it, you will have to first save it and then use it in your design. So when you save it on your desktop or any other folder and then you import it into Photoshop, then it will work as a PNG. But if you copy a PNG from the internet and try to paste it in the Photoshop and then you get worried that why is it giving me a black background, you are wrong. It will give you a black background unless you save it first on your desktop and then you use it. But sometimes this type of pop-up comes. Yes, so you can simply open the image in new tab and you can confirm. And to use it, you have to first save it and then you can use it in your document. So let's just try to copy this. This will get copied. Okay. Okay. Copy image. Yeah, so this is basically a PNG, sorry, this is basically a JPG that these guys have uploaded. So that's why it is being able to parse the, like Photoshop is able to open it. But had it been a JPG instead of a PNG named, then it would have shown me the error as well. So if you want the PNG, okay, let's just discuss it tomorrow because it's the tomorrow's part. There is some tool which I wanted to recommend. So we will discuss it tomorrow, right? What else? So yes, just imagine there is a task that you need to do and you have just copied PNG from the internet and have the time to really save it and then just import it from your desktop, right? So what you can do is select the magic eraser tool. So it is available here in the eraser section only, the magic eraser. So what this does is right now, okay, now I have this car layer selected and I have this magic eraser selected. So I'll just simply press on the black area, because what this does is it matches for the color which is same as the pixel which you selected, it will get erased, right? So I'll just click it and as you can see all the black part according to the my tolerance level has been erased. So if your JPG is very clear that the background is of different color and your subject is of different color, you can quickly use the magic eraser to delete the background, right? So if I just use it here, you can see this portion has got deleted according to the tolerance level set by me. So let's just see, if I just have increased my tolerance level, so what will it do is I'll just select the layer and now my tolerance level is 30, earlier it was 10. So the more the tolerance level, that means the more the colors it will match, right? Now it is deleting more area because of the tolerance level. Less tolerance means less matching, more tolerance means more matching. Any other questions, Prashant? Thank you for nice session. Okay, so let's just end it and let's meet tomorrow with more external tools and resources that can help you in your designing process and make the process a little bit faster. Okay, guys, take care, stay safe.